American Senior Radio Network is the only full-time radio service, audio service for the visually impaired, disabled, and seniors in Washington State. And it is a thrill for you to be on the show. Thank you so kindly.
I am so excited to be here, having learned the goal of the radio station. I'm even more excited to be here because I'll be reaching an audience that might enjoy the book. I am working through the way memory is handled in generations in Curious Tusks. Okay. We go from an actual view of George Atkinson, the grandfather, and then we go to his memorial after he has been killed. So we see him through the eyes of his grandson, of his mother, of his runaway granddaughter, of all people after we see him one time only when the book opens. And that is what we see of George, all we see of George. Everything else in the book is memory. Perhaps none more tragic or obvious than what Stewart says at the memorial itself for his grandfather. Welcome, and thank you for coming. We are here to celebrate George Atkinson, my grandfather, and perhaps my first best friend. He taught me to laugh, to not worry about my faults. When he shot himself in the foot carrying a loaded gun after a long ride through the bush and an all-nighter writing a story, he called from the hospital and said, "Stuart, I'm still a lousy shot." We both laughed. I had just finished business school and was about to close my first venture capital deal, a sports sneaker company. I called him 2 months later to see how the foot was. "Healed," he said. "Can I have some sneakers?" "No," I told him sadly. The company failed. No one liked the psychedelic colors of the shoes or the odd checkerboard weave. "Now, isn't that just like the stupid world?" he said. "Boring, like Seattle's rain." Born and raised in Seattle, but posted in Africa to write for international journals, George Atkinson left his heart in Africa. It was from him I learned some of the continent's secrets. A favorite was that the African elephant's ears, when widespread, form the continent itself. Hence its species name, Africa Loxodonta africanus. It was from George, Stewart continued, I learned respect and admiration for the continent and its people. Colonized, tyrannized. They were kind. Each, like each of us, citizens of the world, is filled with a unique and special story.
I will never forget this experience.
It's been wonderful, Gerald. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ann.
And thank you for creating an audience that listens to you under all circumstances.